Hello, everyone, and thank you again for watching Ancient Energy Healings. And we're talking again about intuition and finding your superpowers. How awesome is that? Today I have Lily, and I'm so thankful that she's here today. Thank you, Lily.
Thank you so much for having me, Camille. I'm so excited to be here.
And just so everyone understands what you do, can you please explain? I'm so excited. I'm fumbling on my words. Can you explain there again? Please explain what is it that you do healing wise?
Okay, so I'm actually a light language activator, a quantum light codes healer, and a master light coder. And that's essentially basically what I do.
Okay. So for those people who are may not understand, so I am a total fangirl of light language. So I love healers and light language in all aspects of light language, probably because I resonate with it so much and I want to be a healer eventually who can speak it, but right now that's not there. Um, can you explain to people who are not familiar with light language what it is and just along those lines?
Sure. Okay. So light language, extremely simply put, it's just vibration of things, any living things.
Hmm,
It could be terrestrial or extraterrestrial. Okay,
interesting how you
so
said it. Okay.
yes. So it basically it's a vibration, and for the best way, the simplest way I would say, the simplest way to put it is it's a type of sound healing. Not really, there's way more in depth, but the simplest way to put it, it's basically sound healing. So it's various vibrations that are brought through that will lift or it will kind of soften any dense energies that you may have that's stored in any areas of your body because all of us are different and it depends on what it is that we would like assistance with. So those vibrations, when it comes through, it will loosen the dense energy in whatever area and it will be extremely helpful if the healee, the person that is asking for the healing, also participates. So when they have any physical sensations of release, such as like if all of a sudden they start listening to light language, what you do is you relax, you ease into it. Um, do not try to analyze. Just like if you listen to a song on the radio, right? You wouldn't go, "Oh wow, I love that sound." A song, I love that song. Oh, are they playing me fa so? You wouldn't do that, right?
that's that,
Yeah.
that's a good point. I love that you brought
Yes.
that up.
Yeah. Same with a tuning fork. You're like, oh, that is beautiful. Is that A minor? Right? You wouldn't do that. Right? Yeah. So instead, you would feel it. Like when you listen to the tuning fork, you'll be like, oh, that is so beautiful. Then you would try to go into your body and go, which area is it making you feel like why is it so beautiful? Like what is it? What's moving you? Which area of your body? Same, simply put, same thing with light language. That's what you do. So, but of course, with light language, there's extremely more in depth as well, right? Like you can also receive messages, but everything is in chunks of feeling. For me, for example, because I am a I am more like clear cognizance is my strength and also clear sentient. So for me, when I receive messages, it'll be in blocks of feelings. It might sound weird, but it's block of feelings, yes, which I then interpret it into words. But for me, because because I'm a master coder, so most of the time I'm actually doing a lot of coding. I'm actually doing a lot of healing as opposed to a messenger, so to speak,
Mhm.
because sometimes people are more into that and they're more they can they channel messages and they'll tell you what's coming through, but I'm more for healing and for activations and for light codes, for whatever it is that will support you. So yeah, simply put, that's
Okay.
what light
No,
language is.
for me that actually makes sense. Hopefully for the audience it does because I'm a channeler. I'm a trance channeler. So a lot of the things that I get, it is a message. Um, but most of the things that I do channel are healing energies. Mainly from my Archangel Michael, and then he brings in his crew of people, or not people, beings that help remove blocks. So it's similar to but different. You're using light language, and I'm using a different type of channel, but essentially the same. You're just a different way. Um,
Yes.
and so, how did you discover? So this summit, I have to kind of go back to because I could just talk about light language, but I want to kind of go back to the point of this summit. It's about intuition. How did you understand that you were using intuition, or were you? Because there's people that were born with it and never and always understood they were using their intuition, and then there's people like me that were like, oh, I guess that is my intuition. I should probably listen to it more often because when I didn't, it really got me into trouble.
Yes. Yeah. So I suppose growing up, I didn't really know about the word intuition or anything, right? It's more like a feeling or whatever. But I've always been really open to spirits or extraterrestrials, UFOs, whatever, all that. I've always been really open to it. But I've also always felt like I could heal. I have healing energy in my hands. And again, I have no proof, right? I don't know. I'm just like talking, right? Like thinking. So that's why I actually, from all this, I actually started making jewelry. I have a jewelry business, a couple of online jewelry businesses. One of them is I've actually coded with light codes. But I started it not because, oh, I love jewelry. No, it's because I love making things from scratch. And and I also feel that I have this healing energy in my hands and I want to transfer it into these jewelry that I make. So when people wear it, they'll go, wow, I look good and I feel great, but they don't know why they feel great. Maybe they think, oh, I feel great because I look good. But it's really because I infuse these healing energies into the pieces and they don't know that, but they don't have to know that. And I remember when I first started saying that, articulate it, right? I'm going, because I'm thinking in my mind for the longest time, that's what I'm doing. And I'm trying to articulate it. And back then I was like feeling cringy, like, oh, that that sounds
Yeah.
so like like I'm trying to sell something like it doesn't sound real, right? It's so cringy. But
Mm-hmm.
then but then what happened was eventually during the pandemic, I actually, yes, 2020, I stumbled upon this Facebook group called something about star seeds, because my sister said, "Oh, maybe you're a star seed." Right. So I'm like, what's that? Right. What's star seed? So then yeah, like what's star seed? So then I bump into this, whatever, free Facebook group thingy. And then I learned from there, okay, a little bit about star seeds. And then they talked about quantum healing. The way they talk about it, I'm like, that makes total sense. Of course, that's how healing should happen, right? Again, it's all clear cognizance without because clear cognizance I find is one of the harder clears to confirm because
Mm-hmm.
right,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because you don't know you're right until you're right, like until there is evidence, right? Yeah. So a lot of the times I'm going, okay, it's in probably my head, I don't know, but I feel like yes, like I was so sure. I'm like, yes, this quantum healing course is totally the way you heal. The totally sounds right, right? So I took the quantum healing. In my opinion, it's all about remembering. It's not really learning at all,
Mhm.
including light language. Everybody can speak it if you wish to do so, and if you're called to do so in this lifetime. Yeah, because I'm an activator, so I'm able to activate that in people, either the soul dialect or the light language that is the most prominent to you, that you're meant to be activated right now in this current time. But yeah, so what was I saying?
You were taking the quantum, you took the quantum.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I was taking the quantum healing course. And then after I took it, I'm going, yeah, that was fast, but no, there's something else that's way faster. There's something else that's way faster. So then what happened was,
But
yeah,
quantum healing is actually pretty dang fast.
it is really fast. But the thing is, there are actually different quantum healing that I'm actually learning now because I took another quantum healing and that was faster. Okay,
Oh
because this
gosh.
particular, yes, because this particular quantum healing course suggests that I go into the Akashic records, find the point of origin, collapse that, and then everything will be dissolved,
Uh-huh.
which makes sense. But I'm thinking, no, there's a faster way. So what happened was, so then I continue with my pursuit. You know how you have a question, you're like thinking it, and then the answers just come to you, right? So then what happened was during that 2020, then I was listening to a lot of meditations and stuff
Mhm.
online. And then I came across this lady doing the regular meditation. All of a sudden, I'm going, what is that? She's speaking something, right? I'm like, oh my God, what is it? And I start bawling, literally bawling. Like, I'm usually not that sensitive, you know what I mean? But I'm like, literally start bawling. I'm going, oh my God, what is it? It's not human. It's not a human language. What is it? Because it sounds so familiar in a good way.
Oh.
Like, I was bawling in a good way, like in a good way, as in, it felt like home because I always felt like this is not my home. Like Earth is not
Oh.
my home. And
Mm.
for no real reason, it's not as if I have a bad life, right? Like no, for no reason, I feel like this is not my home. And the energy here is so dense. And it's not, again, it's not because people around me are suffering or I'm suffering. No, it's not. It just feels extremely dense here for me. And I, again, I don't know, I'm just going, oh, is it my mind? I don't know. This is not my home. I don't know. But when I heard that, I was like bawling. I'm like, oh my God, this is, it feels like so much like home. What is this? Wow, what is it? It turns out it was Lyran light language. So then after that, I'm still searching. I'm like, okay, what is it? What is it? Right. So then one thing led to another. Then I start to watch this Netflix series called the OA, Original Angel.
Okay, I
OA.
need to I need to write that down.
Okay, but this is different. So with OA, again, they're, I don't know, some lady, whatever. I'm just gonna very shorten it in my version. Just some lady got a few people together and they sat in a circle and she's trying to teach these people certain routines and she was doing these hand gestures. And then again, I'm started bawling. Okay, again, I'm not that sensitive. That's why I'm keep on saying I'm not that sensitive and emotional, whatever. But this time I started bawling again. I'm like, oh my God, that is so familiar. I know I'm supposed to know something, that where I do something with my hands and something happens. What is it? Is it Tai Chi? Like, I don't know what it is because I know Tai Chi, right, from a very young age. I'm like, but I don't practice it now. But I'm like, what is it? Right? So, again, light language is not just spoken, it's also hand gestures, it's also body movement, as well as written and artwork and even in music. So light language comes in extremely many different forms, and essentially, honestly, it's just vibration, right? Different vibrations. Yeah. So one thing led to another, and then finally, you know how everything just aligns if you're searching for it, it just comes to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So finally, I read this post, and someone says they got activated by somebody, and I'm like, well, I gotta try it, right?
Yeah.
I gotta
It's
see.
like,
I don't
yes.
know. Yes. So I got activated by an activator. And then literally like the first few days I got six that came in, then 12, then like basically lots. And I was able to speak many, and I just stopped counting now. And yeah, so that's what happened. And then I went to another course, which assisted me in basically become an activator. And yeah, that's basically it. And what happened was you know how before we hopped on, we kind of talked about it is hard because people might think, what is she saying?
Yes.
Like, you're afraid that
Uh-huh.
people might judge you, for because it is weird. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, because sometimes some people can channel beautiful light language where it sounds human, meaning it sounds like a human language, maybe like Lumerian, it sounds beautiful. Whereas others, like myself, whose light language is actually not Lumerian and not human sounding, in my opinion. So it could be clicks, it could be this, it could be that, and I might demonstrate at the end.
You should totally, please do.
Okay, I will do that later on at the end. But you can tell mine is different. So again, every because we all have a soul dialect, right? Just like when we speak English, we'll have our own accents that
Mhm.
we place in the English language. It's the same thing. So if you hear someone saying, "Oh, is this Lumerian?" Oh, how come somebody else speaking Lumerian is totally different?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
yeah, so I love this analogy. Okay, I love this analogy. Okay, so one day, um, this ET met an Earthling. So the ET is so excited. He's like, "Wow, Earthling, can you say something?" The Earthling's like, "Yeah, sure, I can speak something." So the Earthling starts speaking English. So then ET goes, "Oh, okay, so that's how Earthlings sound like." So the next day, the same ET meets another Earthling, and he's like, "Wow, what are the chances? I met another Earthling. Wow, Earthling, can you say something? Say something, right?" So the Earthling starts speaking Japanese.
Yeah.
So the ET is like, "Oh, that sounds very different from yesterday's Earthling, and this is also Earthling dialect. Oh, okay." So then the next day, the same ET goes, "Oh, wow. No, seriously, three times. I met another Earthling. Earthling, please say something." The Earthling goes, "Ruff, ruff, 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 ruff."
Okay. Yeah, that's a great analogy. Super great analogy. I didn't even think about animals.
Yes, animals, right? Fairies,
Hmm.
insects,
Hmm.
right? Yes, they're all, that's why I mentioned at the very beginning, light language is vibration of any living things. It's not
Yeah.
just being, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like being whatever, human, whatever. It's not just a being. It could be any living things. That's why if you happen to be interested in light language and you come upon something and and it sounds different, this is why, because you have to, if the transmitter didn't specify, this is a Lyran feline, Lyran insect, Lyran fairy, Lyran bird. So it might sound different, right? And that is
Yeah.
why. But then, yeah, but then again, it doesn't really matter. Just out of curiosity, right? You might want to know why, but it's it's light language. It's all good. Um, but always trust your intuition though, right? Because sometimes light language are not of the light because it's just a word.
Oh.
Yes, it's just a word, light language. Like meaning, yes, it's light vibration coming through, but because some people they will listen to the transmission, they'll be like, "Ooh, I feel I my intuition, like I'm feeling like I don't want to listen to it." You know what?
Mm,
Trust your intuition, right? Because this episode is all about intuition as well. Trust it. Totally trust your gut, trust your intuition. All you have to do, you don't need to analyze it. Just say, turn it off. Just scroll away. Because all that means, simply put, is they don't have your highest good. So don't worry about it, right?
mm.
The intention is not aligned to your highest good. That's okay. Just scroll because everybody's here for a reason and that's not aligned with yours. So just scroll along and until you find a like a transmission that makes you feel good. Maybe initially it might cause discomfort, but that's all because it's trying to remove your dense energy and then it'll make you feel good. Yeah.
That, I didn't even think about that. And that's a great point that you brought up because it's the word that we humans use to get into a different realm, a different frequency altogether to understand a transmission from the galactic being. But it's that it didn't even occur to me that something of not your highest transmission or highest and best good would necessarily come through. That's a very good point because that kind of brings into some people that are channeling out there, and this is going kind of off topic, but this is using your intuition as well. Um, like how can you discern what is for your highest and best good using your intuition, and what kind of clues can you are you able to understand, right? Like this is kind of going back to it, not kind of, it is going back to your intuition. And are you using it? Are you following it? And if you're getting I think a great word you're using and when you in the beginning was a cringe. If you're feeling something or sensing something and you're cringing, your body's like, probably not the best. That's your intuition. That's your intuition. That's your intuition telling you. I mean, you have your good intuitions that are telling you, yes, follow this way. Um, but I think maybe you can help the audience with this. When is it that you are able to distinguish when, let's say, I think the best scenario would be you've broken up with somebody and you want to get back together, but how do you distinguish what the emotion is versus your instinct? And are because your not instinct, your intuition, because they're oftentimes woven in together, your emotions. So how is it that you can have that discernment if you're able to speak on that? Because I know I have a hard time.
It is really hard when emotion is involved, especially in a relationship, I have to say though. But I would actually start by going back a little bit. Going back by maybe if you are a super beginner, I'm sure you already have the intuition, but like the only difference is you don't really know how to how that feeling is like, for example, because that's Camille, that's what you're asking for,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say the best way to do it is train yourself by asking something simple daily. In the morning, you wake up, you're like, do I want a cup of tea? Body. Ask your body because your body, there's somewhere in your body that will go, yes. Somewhere in your body will be like, not today. Pay attention. Pay attention to where it is that because everybody's different. I can say, oh, for me is my whatever, but for you it could be something else. So don't focus on what other people tell you. Focus on what your body is telling you, right? So practice easy stuff, not nothing hard, nothing like, oh, should I go back with this person or not? Because that's too complicated because it
Yes.
involves your emotion, right? But whereas food is like yes or no, it's like easy, right? Do I feel like it? Do I not feel like it? Do you want a coffee this morning? No, because your body will tell you. Like you'll have a feeling, then hone in on it. Where are you feeling that?
And
Because you
not
want your
hunger.
body,
And it's not
yes,
hunger.
yes, yeah, it's not hunger. So focus on just simply let your body tell you what is a yes sign. Where does in your body, how do you feel when it's a yes? And how do you feel when it's a no? So when you get used to that, just do it daily, for, do they say 28 days? It take 28 days to change a habit or something?
I think
28 days, I think. Yeah. So just do it for a month, right? And then until you're comfortable, until you can say, yeah, no, yes, no, no, I don't want this. I you want to eat this. I don't want to eat that. I want to drink. I don't want to drink. Once you're able to train your body and your mind to be connected, or your heart, whatever it is, like you're sure that you know what the yes answer is according to how you feel, and no answer according to your body, according to how you feel, then it's a lot easier when it comes to things that has to do with emotions, because that's the first thing you feel. Whether or not you
Mhm.
want to listen to it is different, right? Because then your emotion
Oh
will get
gosh.
involved. Because your body will be like, no. But then you're like, but no.
If I start talking about how many times I've just 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 did not listen to my intuition or my guides, that could be in an entirely different summit altogether. But we're gonna talk about the positive parts. I really like what you're saying. Just do small things and not really try to do the big things first, because for me, I'm someone that would just want to just jump right in. It's like, okay, what do I do? How do I move this bus? Are, can you move a pebble first? Let's move a rock. A boulder and a rock, a boulder and a bus are probably the same size. Do you have the strength? So yeah, I love that you're saying do baby steps. Start to recognize what it is and how your intuition is telling you things. I think for me, one of the things that I was able to recognize first was food. And I love that you brought that up, like coffee or tea. Um, Now I love to have coffee in the morning. That was something I learned in college. Probably my body doesn't want it. But other things that I've learned using my intuition is just recently, my body just only wants to have fish. I have
Yep.
no desire to have any kind of beef or any kind of chicken, not even eggs. I can still do pork, but for someone who was eating beef weekly, it just all of a sudden my body's like, nope, don't want it. Started eating more tofu, more veg. Not that I didn't eat vegetables, but really having to incorporate vegetables, more so, and then fish, which I grew up in Hawaii, so I always had fish around me, but moving to places that it wasn't as available, I was like, how am I gonna get it now?
Yes.
But things like that, I hopefully, audience, that you're able to understand and take these great steps, like these little things for those of you who are necessarily understanding what your intuition is yet. Or
Yes.
yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead,
go
Marie.
ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead.
I was just going to add, and those of you who may need to reconnect to your intuition, because there's a lot of times you're just going about your day, right? And you're on autopilot. And so just take a breath, take a moment, really take a break in your day and just settle into your body and really start to, okay, so what do I have to do? Just reconnect to your body.
Yes, yes, because that's also part of healing too, right? Meaning we can heal ourselves. We can totally heal ourselves. We are such amazing, magnificent beings. And part of my soul purpose, I have many. Part of it is also to help the humanity awaken to who they truly, truly are.
Love it.
Wow, like we are, yes, because we are so incredibly amazing. The hardest part of any of this so-called spiritual stuff is to believe
Mm,
in yourself that you can do it. That's the hardest part,
it
honestly.
is. It is. It is. It totally is. Is I love that
Yeah.
you brought that up. Again, a completely different summit because we could talk about it for hours. But I do want to address, go into that you do have a great uh, free gift for everyone. Can you explain to everyone what it is?
Okay. So what I have is for anybody that, of course, signs up for this summit, this really wonderful summit. So I do have a 10-minute chakra clearing for you and chakra clearing alignment. So in this 10-minute video, what I do is I use both quantum healing light codes as well as light language to basically align and clear your chakras. So that's what I do.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. And I know I asked you, or you suggested, I'm going to ask you now formally. Would you be able to close us out with a light language for the collective?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I love doing that. Yes. Okay, sure. Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that. So, everybody, if you would like to receive, please sit back, relax. You can open your eyes, you can close your eyes. You don't necessarily have to watch what it is that I'm doing, like moving the energy or doing any coding. The most important thing is to be relaxed. And as I mentioned earlier, which I'll mention again, if you feel any physical discomfort as I am transmitting, such as you would be like, so I'm starting to transmit, you're like, ooh, how come I feel tension in my forehead, like a headache, tension in or oh, how come my throat is feeling a little bit uncomfortable, don't just ease into it, meaning do not go, oh, what is that? Like, what's going on? But instead, ease into it, acknowledge it. All you do is acknowledge and say, okay, there is tension in my forehead. There's discomfort in my throat, for example, or my, chest, whatever. And what that means is basically I am working on those areas because all of us carry dense energies in different areas in our body. Okay, so when you feel discomfort, as I am transmitting or starting to, that just basically means that I am working on that area where it's trying to loosen up the dense energy. So if you don't tighten up, don't tense up, but instead just relax and ease into it, you'll find that you'll feel a lot better because I can just remove it for you, right? As well as it is you have to participate because the more you participate, the more you get out of it. So if you feel, as I mentioned earlier, like you feel like I really need to clear my throat, clear your throat, cough, burp if you have to, yawn. That's all releasing dense energy physically. So that also assists me as well and assist yourself because when you do that, I'm able to bring in new codes for you and to place it in wherever the dense energies have been released. So there are spaces available, right? So new information are able to come in for you. So sit back, relax, and I will start shortly.
Yay.
So what I'll do is I'll bring in light language and light codes to help you release any dense energies at the cellular level that is blocking you from remembering who you truly are. Okay? Okay, I'll do that. Ratata 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 rajigiri tata taturoto to ratata 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 rajigiri tata turoto. Pita tata ratata 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 rajigiri tata ratata 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 rajigiri tata ratata rajigiri tata puropa ratata ratata ratata. Pitata ratata 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 rajigiri tata parara rajigiri tata parara rajigiri tata parara rajigiri tata turoto. Pitata rata tarata rata tarata karari tarara turota tata tara chigari tata porota tarata tarara karara tata chigari tata tarata tara chigari tata tarata karara. Pita rata tarata turutu rata tarata 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 tara chigari tata rata tarata karara chigari tata parara chigari tata porota karara rata karara chigari tata tururu. Pita rata tarata 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 rata tata tara chigari tata parata karara tata rogi tata tata chigari tata parata karara. Pira rata tara tara tata tara chikiri tata tara 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 chikiri tata tara tara chikiri tata tora tara pita rata tara 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 chikiri tara 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 chikiri tata tora pita tata rugara tata tara tara chikiri tata tara chikiri tata Pita tata rata tata rata rata tata tata chikari tata rata tata chikari tata tata rata rata tata chikari tata rata pira rara 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 tata rata tata tata chikari tata tata chikari tata rata tata pita tata rata tata chikari tata tata rata rata. Now I'm going to bring in the light codes to actually activate and strengthen your intuition. Okay, now everyone slowly come back to me and let me know how you feel.
Yay! Oh my God. Um, for those of you, I mean, okay, so how you can let, um, oh gosh, I didn't want to do that. Okay, I can't. Okay, whatever. I don't know what I'm doing. So for those of you who have felt something, please sign up for Lily's to be able to get Lily's a free gift, and then you can get her email and let her know what your sensations were. For me, I started yawning after you started activating, I guess, or adding more intuition discernment. And then I also felt something in my right leg. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But when you started activating, it went away. I was like, that really is interesting. But I started yawning the entire time. And not the entire time, toward the end. So again, I we as healers love to hear feedback. So please let Lily know what kind of sensations you were feeling from her activation, and especially what you're getting from her free gift. So thank you very much, Lily, and thank you, audience, for participating today. And Lily, it's been a pleasure talking to you and learning more about you and light language.
Thank you so, so much, Camille. This was really fun. I had so much fun, and thank you so much. And
All
thank you,
right.
audience.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you again. Bye now.
Bye.